Okay, welcome Hard Rocker fans, especially our friends online. I heard this morning that 30,000 different sets of eyeballs caught the action that was going on the live feed, including 2,000 Hard Rocker fans and family that tuned in and spent some time watching us this morning. So welcome to those of you on the line, also known as the internet. That's clever. Welcome to our exciting announcement of the signing class. This is a great day for us as the Rockers continue to build. We themed this year Rocker Reload 18, and that was for a very specific reason. We do have a good football team here right now. We're not rebuilding a football team right now. We're reloading in some areas where we needed some immediate help, and we did that with this class of 24 signees. I would like to go through my thank you list because I actually wrote it down this year instead of trying to wing it. And a couple of people that I think really deserve some credit. I'm going to go through them in no specific order to their importance to us, but rather as a list of folks that have been a huge help to this day being an occurrence. Brad Bloom, our sports information director guru, master of the graphics, master of the all things internet-based. Appreciate Brad and his team for their support. Jen Buttle and Val Solano. Jen is our compliance officer. Val Solano works with our financial aid department. And between the two of them, they do about 20 days worth of paperwork in about 13 hours. And they do all this work. We sent out 24 letters of intent and scholarship agreements, and we returned this morning 24 national letters of intent and scholarship agreements. Without their work, there's no way that could have happened. Molly Moore and her team, I'm going to read the names of the women who helped us out this year. Taylor, who's here. Hello, Taylor. Kinsey, Samantha, Melissa, who's here. Raise your hand, Melissa. There you go. Kristen, who's off-site. Brittany came in on Saturday twice. On Saturday, she took time out of her day to visit with a prospective student athlete this past Saturday. Ashley, Janine, and Samantha, and I probably forgot a name or two over there at the admissions department, but they do such an outstanding job of selling this institution to the prospective student athletes and their families. I'd also like to thank the faculty and staff that take time out of their weekends. We ask them to come in on Saturdays and work extra time to try to sell our program and what we have to offer academically, and they do it every single time. So we certainly thank the faculty and staff for their work. Certainly want to give a shout out to our athletics director, Joel Lucan, and to Dr. Rankin, because there are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes of building a football program. There's big decisions that are made behind the scenes, and nobody gets to see those decisions be made, but big decisions were made throughout this process. And I thank Joel and Dr. Rankin for their support. I thank Kevin Price for the work he does tirelessly to bring in the funds, and that leads me directly to the donors to the Hard Rock Club, the men and women and the families that donate their hard-earned money to this foundation and to this scholarship project here with the Hard Rock Club. And when they do that, we're now providing opportunities for families to create a new life for their son, and that's what we're doing here today with 24 families that are going to be impacted by the generosity of those donors. A big shout out to Anita Brenneman, the woman who really handles all the situations that come out in athletics. I have thrown more receipts at the feet of Anita Brenneman with some backup at times for what we do in the recruiting process. She handles it all. She keeps me on point. She lets me know how close I am to being over budget in certain areas. And without her support and help and what she does for our entire athletics department and our coaching staff, there's no way this day would have happened. I'd like to give a big shout out to our recruiting coordinator, Justin Udy, the best recruiting coordinator, not just in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, but arguably the best one in all of Division II college football. And I can tell you that Justin does this at high of a level as you can in this business. He's professional, he's thoughtful, he's courteous, he's aggressive, he's tough, he's determined, and he's committed. There's not a better guy in the country to do this than Justin. If it wasn't for him, we'd have signed about 2 guys today. Taylor Breitzman is our defensive coordinator, our assistant head coach. He also is our food coordinator on recruiting trips. Now, if you want to be a food coordinator on recruiting trips, that's the worst job in college football is food coordinator. And he's the best coach we got, and he does it with a smile. He never complains, and he is as good at coordinating food on recruiting trips as he is on calling third down defense, and he's dang good at that. Very, very proud of him and what he's done here with our program. Travis Dixon and Cody O'Neill are our two primary Arizona guys. Cody also helps us out in Colorado as well, and they both did an outstanding job bringing men in. Cody coordinates all the transportation on the visit, and it's if you have 22 people visiting your campus and you leave that 22nd person back at the hotel and they need to be in a van, that's a major issue. That didn't happen to us one time this year. Okay, we left 0 people at Mount Rushmore on accident, and I think that's a great job by Cody. Nicholas Jean-Baptiste, who really, when you see the Texas guys, Coach Baptiste is the man who made that happen, did just an outstanding job. Coach Baptiste is also our social media director. What did you guys think of the social media presence this morning?
I enjoyed it. Gave me an excuse to go on social media.
Yeah, so we had people on social media at the high schools today, okay? And I thank Coach Baptiste for his work doing that. Daniel Fusi, who had his first public speaking engagement as a football coach this morning online, did an outstanding job. Coach Fusi's really developed as a football coach. We go down, and when we have a visit, we bring the players into the locker room, and Coach Fusi does all the decoration of the locker room, putting the name tags up, getting the jerseys out, lining the helmets the correct way, making sure the laces are out. All those details are very important. He does an outstanding job there. And Coach Lonnie Messick and Coach Robert Sales, who are with us all the time, and the work they put in, they're also helping with the visits and helping close some of these players. The other people I think are really important to thank that are here on our staff is our facilities staff. Overwhelmingly, every time I met with a prospect, when he was walking out the door, one of the things he said was he loved the King Center. He thought the King Center was so awesome. And that's because our facilities staff does an outstanding job of making this place look sharp every single day. And so we thank those folks for the work they do. And they're always getting after it, getting these floors clean. And it's hard to keep those floors clean this time of year, but I tell you what, you could eat off them on a Saturday when we were getting those recruits in here. And we almost did a couple times, but a tremendous job by those folks. The final group that I think is really important to thank, well, there's 2 groups, is number 1 is the coaches' families, the wives and the kids. We're working on more and more kids onto our staff, but the ones that we do have, they don't. I take a lot of pride that we don't count the hours of the days we work. That we make the days and the hours count. But certainly for the families, that's a lot of time where they don't see their loved ones. And that's a huge sacrifice they make for our football program. Without their support, none of this would happen. And then the last group that really needs the biggest shout out is our current football team and our current players and the men who just finished up their playing careers. Overwhelmingly, if you talk to the young men who are visiting South Dakota Mines, the thing they love is the players that are on the team. They want to be a part of this, and they always say it's a family atmosphere. The family atmosphere has been created by the players in the program. They do an outstanding job, and they're really great recruiters. If you just sit and speak with some of our current players, and you just sit at a table and have a conversation with them, you're going to say, well, I want my son to be like that guy. And that is what draws families to this football program. So I thank our current players and the work they did. They do a great job representing our football program and our institution on a day-in, day-out basis. All right, let's talk about this class. A couple of key things that I think you want to see, and you guys have been reading this all over. Of the 24 men we signed, 20 of them were team captains. So we went after servant leaders, men who have been leaders in their football programs already. Our average GPA was a 3.62. Our average ACT math score is a 26. So it's not like we're making any kind of sacrifice or negotiation on the academic side. We're still bringing in scholar ballers on a daily basis. And the other thing we wanted to do was bring in winners, and so we brought in players with a winning percentage of 655, men who have won before, they've played in championship games before, they've played in conference championship games before, they're bringing that culture with them into our program. Certainly we want a winning percentage of 655. If we can carry that into our program, that helps us, and so we did that job there. If you see that if you say, man, they're recruiting Colorado a lot, yes we are. That is home territory for us. Colorado is to us it's almost like southern South Dakota at this point. It's just part of who we are, and it's part of our program. We go down there, we go toe-to-toe with the RMAC schools, and we fare very well when we compete. And it's a very good brand of football, and we were able to grab 12 great players from the state of Colorado. Those are really the highlights on the big picture of the class of 2018. I also like to thank Ezra Carroll, who posed for that photograph right there. I did feel like I was doing a lot of the artistic direction in this photograph, and Coach Udy took the photo, but I felt like that head tilt to the side was really good and really made it pop. All right, let's move forward. Our first signee in the class, I'll bring him to you here momentarily, is Joseph Balbirr. Defensive back, or really a roll-down safety type player out of Highlands Ranch High School in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Computer science is his degree field. We do believe Joseph has the ability to come in and play early. He's 6'1", 210 pounds, so he's got some girth to him already. So when he runs around and he hits stuff, he's doing it with some human behind him, which makes him a physical presence. You're going to like when you see Joseph play. You're just going to say, hey, that player plays with really nice juice. He's not a real vocal guy. In fact, he's quite quiet. He's got sort of that look in his eye where you're not sure if he's about to hit you or not, which is good if you're a rocker dog defender. And he does a great job. I think he's going to have a chance to play early for us. Next up, another Colorado guy. We're going in alphabetical order. Tyler Anderson, offensive lineman, Harrison High School in Colorado Springs, Colorado, a civil engineer. 6 feet 4 inches, 295 pounds. Was concerted effort to get bigger up front. We recruited this young man well. He committed to us before we had even had a chance to bring him up on a visit. This guy is just a stud in terms of his demeanor. He's excitable. I met with him Sunday morning of his recruiting visit this past weekend, and I offered him and said, you let me know when you're ready to commit. And he said to me, Coach, yesterday for me was like Christmas Eve, because I knew today I was going to get to commit to be a hard rocker. And I thought, even if he memorized that, that's still a great line. And we cannot wait to get Tyler up here. You're going to like his big body. He carried. Look at how long those arms are. And that's not an optical illusion. He's a really long and strong player. Next up is our first quarterback we signed. We did bring in two. This one's from down in Chadron High School is Coy Bila. McCoy Bila. We call him Coy, 6 foot, 165 pounds. Electrical engineer, Larry. So you got one of those in the boat. Really, really bright academically. Comes from an athletic family. His brother wrestles at Nebraska Kearney. So he's got some of that wrestler toughness just in his mindset in the home. If your older brother's a college wrestler, you know how to fight back, because you've been thrown around a little bit. I really like his energy and his juice. I think he's a good developmental player. He was an all-conference player. He was a team offensive MVP. He was an academic all-state, so we know we have a good one in Coy. Next up is an offensive lineman now, another Colorado player from Faith Christian Academy. Coy just wants to be up there really bad right now. There you go. Is Mitchell Black. All right. Mitchell comes in at 6'2", 275 pounds, a civil engineer, another guy with great energy, came on a couple of visits up to see us, really strong student, someone who's going to come in here and immediately compete in the classroom. And I really like Mitchell's demeanor. I really like his attitude. When you sit and talk with Mitchell, he sits up at the front of his chair. He's got good juice, good energy, good presence. And he's going to be an immediate guy that can come in and help and play football right away for us. Another guy out of Arvada, Colorado. Next up is a local player now, a wide receiver out of Rapid City, South Dakota, St. Thomas More, and that's Jake Bonenkamp. He'll play wide receiver for us. He's in applied biological sciences or an IS pre-health. He's really on a true pre-med track when he comes to us. 5'11", 180 pounds, and we've had pretty good success with guys from St. Thomas More coming and playing football for the Hard Rockers. And I'm pretty sure that if we can get that St. Thomas More connection from Jake to Jake, we'll be just fine. Next up is a defensive back out of Chatfield High School in Littleton, Colorado. Okay, and that's Chandler Kaleo, 5'9", 170 pounds, a mining engineer. One of the things I really like about Chandler is when you put the film on, it really speaks for itself. He's got great pop, great explosiveness. He can run and tackle, run and tackle, run and tackle, run and tackle. And running and tackling and playing physical, those things translate from the high school to the college level. He's got great spirit. We did a good job beating other teams in the RMAC on Chandler. That was really someone that I thought Coach Udy did an outstanding job making sure Chandler got jumped into the boat. Next up is a young man from Gatesville, Texas. He's our first Texas signee. Again, congratulations to Coach Baptiste on the work he did down there. Linebacker Will Carroll. Will, really neat family. Gatesville, Texas is out there now, okay? You got to commit yourself to get to Gatesville, Texas. We did that. Had an outstanding home visit. Both his mother and father are retired women's college basketball coaches who kind of got out of the college game. His dad used to be the top assistant at Wyoming in women's basketball. And so they knew the area. They were really familiar with the Black Hills and what was going on here. And Will is just, he's all Black Hills all the time. He's going to come up here and he's going to be right at home. I know he lives in Gatesville, Texas. He's originally from Georgia, but at the end of the day, he's going to fit into the Black Hills great. He's a hard-hitting linebacker, 6'1", 205 already. And when you watch him play, he plays with just, when you think of, hey, someone who plays linebacker like he's from Texas, that's what this guy plays like, you know, and he's a downhill football player. And that's just a cool picture of him about to hit something with an axe. Wow, another big linebacker. Gavin Channing is 6'2", 215-pound linebacker out of Surprise, Arizona, Sunrise Mountain. This was a very, very exciting commitment we got from Gavin. When you watch him, another bigger player, someone who's a downhill player, someone who doesn't run into contact, he runs through contact. Really do like the future that Gavin has. He's long, he's strong, and he's got a toughness about him in the way he plays. And really neat family as well. Really excited to have Gavin in the boat coming up here this fall. Next up is our new running back, okay, out of Bishop Bashbuff High School in Denver, Colorado. He's now the third guy from that school that we have on the team, and that's Fernando Chavez. He's interested in mechanical engineering, 5'9", 170. He came off an injury this season, and so he didn't get as much play as he wanted to, but he had 13 touchdowns in his first 4 games, which, you know, we'll take that. I mean, if he can produce 13 touchdowns in 11 games, we'll be stoked, all right? So he's coming, he's an outstanding student, and has done a great job in the classroom. He'll come in and be able to compete early in his career. Really excited to have Fernando on board. Next up is our defensive end from Aurora, Colorado, Eagle Crest High School, and that's Kiante Christian. Kiante is interested in engineering. He's from, like I said, Aurora, Colorado, 5'11", 225 pounds, and we recruited him for a very specific purpose. He is a high motor edge player. We needed it. We specifically needed it. Tremendous family story. He'll be one of these guys that we kind of have on the front of the magazines and the posters, I think, during his time at South Dakota Mines. Awesome juice, great smile, very thankful and thoughtful young man. We kind of fell in love with him from Jump Street. So did the entire rest of the RMAC. And so we were in a great fight in the recruiting battle from Jump Street. And he is, he's going to be someone who's going to be very, very exciting to watch when we get to see him in a uniform. I also like that Kiante was part of a program that wasn't traditionally successful, and in his senior season, they made it all the way to the state championship game in big school Colorado football. So he's part of helping a program go from one level to the next level, which is exactly what we're doing here. Next up for us, Adrian Eastman, industrial engineer out of Gilbert, Arizona, Higley High School. 6'2", 205, a defensive back, 6'2", 205. Just the length, the size, the playmaking. There's just a lot of things that Adrian can do. This guy's an exciting player. I do think he has another one that has a chance to play early in his career. He's got the frame for it. He's got the demeanor for it. He really likes football, and he likes to, the things that he does on defense well is he runs really good, and then he hits stuff really good. And that just translates. I think anything, if you want a rocker dog, you want someone who runs really hard and hits really hard, and that's what Adrian does. Okay. Next up then will be a receiver out of San Antonio, Texas, Jalen Griffin. Okay, out of Brandi High School, 5'8", 165, true mechanical engineer. Really good playmaker. You know, we'll play him in the slot position. Has that ability to really track the football. He's got great energy. You can see the smile he has in that picture right there. If you've spent any time with Jalen, it doesn't take you long to get him to smile. He's just got a great personality. His juice level is where you want it to be. And so I'm very excited to just see his personality come out in this program. really neat guy, and comes from a very athletic family. His dad played Division II football. Mom was a track athlete, so very strong family background that way. It's just a really neat player. Next up is Hunter Jaski out of Boulder Creek High School in Anthem, Arizona. He's a mechanical engineer, 6'3", 200-pounder, developmental defensive end for us. We needed some help just in terms of guys who can run around the edge and make plays on the defensive line, and Hunter will be able to do that for us. Also interested in either mechanical or chemical engineering. He's a very, very good student. We're excited to have Hunter on board. We got another DB out of Arizona. Great job by Coach Dixon and Coach O'Neill. That's Kendall Johnson out of O'Connor High School, Sandra Day O'Connor High School in Phoenix, Arizona. 6'2", 190-pounder industrial engineer. And we don't inflate these sizes. You know, this is a true long corner, body type wise. One of these players who might have been a little bit under the radar because he had an injury going into his previous season, so he missed some time. And I think this young man has really high upside, long arms, really good athleticism, and he'll remind you a little bit of, probably remind you a little bit body type wise of like a Jameer Moore who played for us, who has a nice long body like that. So I think Ken will be able to play corner. We expect him to play early in his career and be very, very competitive. Very exciting young man, and excited to have him in the program. Next up is a mechanical engineer out of Denver High School, or Denver, Colorado, Mullen High School, and that's Brock Langren. Brock's 6', 280. He's a center. He plays mad. He's got some good anger issues that he takes out on other people. But actually, if you just speak with him face to face, he's a fine young man. Awesome personality. Family is great. His juice level's high. He's just really not very nice when he plays against other teams. So we like that kind of spirit of aggression, and he'll bring that to the table. Really excited to have Brock on board, another guy who's just going to be a stalwart in that offensive line. This guy's really exciting out of Fort Collins High School in Fort Collins, Colorado. Civil engineer Jake Leone, 6'3", 215-pounder. He'll be in that similar role to what Hunter Gutierrez did for us this year as a flex-type tight end. Really good ball skills, a really exciting player. Actually tore his ACL at one point in his high school career and played with it, which when you watch the film, you're like, man, he looks a little slow right now. Yeah, he's playing on a torn ACL, so he's a little sluggish. But really exciting player. When he's healthy, we've seen him. He's really sharp. We beat some good schools on him, and including the fact that his father went to Colorado Mines. So I think when you're able to bring someone out of Colorado with that background, I always like that. You know, when they get to see what our program is and they choose us, that makes us feel good about what we're doing in our program. Industrial engineer out of Boulder High School in Boulder, Colorado is Cole Peterson, 6'2", 195-pounder. Again, you're kind of seeing the length that we're looking for on the defensive side of the ball. Cole's an exciting young prospect. I think he's going to develop in our football program. He's got good energy. He's very quiet, very cerebral player. And in fact, when you watch the film and then you meet him in person, you're like, man, you hit things really hard and you run really good on the field and you seem so nice. But he's just got a really good spirit about the way he plays, very aggressive mentality, and we're going to see a lot of good things from Cole. Austin Roth is a 6'5", 300-pound offensive tackle out of Sumner High School in Washington. I give all the credit in the world to Coach O'Neill. We beat some very, very good Division II programs on Austin, including many that he had to drive by to get to here, which he did on multiple occasions, drive out to see us. He's 6'5", 300 legit, and when you're a high school offensive tackle, 6'5", 300, you're going to be a very big person. He's got great hair. It goes out the back of his helmet, which I always like an OT. An offensive tackle that has hair out the back of his helmet always makes you feel good about yourself. And he just plays with great energy. I've known his high school coach for many, many years in Sumner, Washington. I used to live right near there. And Austin just has great energy, man. He's going to come in and be very competitive early in his career. Exciting player. And like I said, I give Coach O'Neill credit because recruiting from out of the state of Washington out to South Dakota Mines, the way we did right there, that's a big-time recruiting job and a testament to what Coach O'Neill was able to accomplish there. And we really like Austin, fun player to watch. Kaleb Roth is a running back. We're confusing, we're going with the Roth-Smith deal here. We got a little run on him. Kaleb Roth is a running back at Liberty High School in Madero Ranchos, California. Electrical engineer again, potential mechanical as well. He's a very, very strong student. Good back, nice balance. He's a wrestler, and I always like wrestlers. They have an attitude about themselves. They've been in one-on-one competition. Wrestlers tend to not make very many excuses, And so I'm very excited to have Kaleb in the program. He really runs hard. He's kind of a one-cut back and had a really, really big year this past season. And we're excited to have Kaleb on board at the back position. Next up now is defensive end out of Horizon High School in Thornton, Colorado. It's Cole Seawall, 6'2", 215, mechanical engineer. Again, we wanted to get someone who could run that edge, and Cole really is he gets a lot of tackles for loss, and productivity at defensive line is very important, and he has shown productivity on the defensive line. We need that. We need more TFLs. We need more negative plays. You know, if we watch, I think we all watched the Super Bowl on Sunday, and again, the game hinged on one time during the game, one player off the edge made a really significant play, touched the football, caused a turnover, changed the game. Those are the type of plays you need. We think Cole and Kiante, those guys give us a chance to make those types of plays where we're touching the ball in the backfield. Connor Smith is an offensive lineman out of Longmont, Colorado, Skyline High School. Civil engineer, 6'3", 265 pounds. Good developmental player. This guy really plays with good energy. He played in a college-style offense, and so what he did in college, or high school rather, actually translates to what we do here. And so that was one thing that really had him gravitating towards us, is that the system isn't going to be a big change-up for him. He was excited about that. Really excited to have Connor on board. Woo! Big country. Grant Smith is out of Salina, Texas, Salina High School. That's not a typo. He's 6'6", 350. I have a photo of Grant and I in the locker room together, and he made me look like real small, and I'm not 350, but I never seen something like that before. Grant's offensive tackle. He's just big, great personality, exciting family, excited about the weight program. I don't know how Coach Baptiste got him to come here, because it was just such a work. We had to work so hard to beat so many schools on Grant, but it just came down to educational opportunity and the chance to play in this type of a program where the education is there. And he just came back to me, Coach, it's a family up there. I just noticed that when I was there. We worked so hard to recruit Grant to get him. I mean, he makes that pickaxe look like a toothpick. You know, he's just a big dude. We're just excited to see him come and play, and hope he doesn't hurt anybody on the way. Okay. Well, the final of the Smith trio is Toby Smith out of Coronado High School in Colorado Springs, Colorado. 6'1", 190-pound quarterback, mechanical engineer. Another case of his brother actually played football at Colorado Mines, and then Toby came up to the Colorado Mines game this year, and I don't know if you heard, but we beat him. And that went over really well. And then when we got to know Toby and he started to get to know us, it was just really good synergy with how he would fit in with us and how we fit in with him. And we're pumped to have him. He had a really productive career. He's what I call, and I call this affectionately, a football nerd. He just loves the details of the game and learning the game and learning techniques and learning skills. And so I think he's really going to develop into a fine player for us during his time. And then our final signing is a wide receiver out of Warren High School in San Antonio, Texas, is Quentin Starks. Quentin is 5'10", 185 pounds. Quentin's an explosive player. He'll major in civil engineering. This is an exciting player. We do think he has a chance to play early. He had almost 1,200 receiving yards, which is just a lot of yards, and 12 receiving touchdowns. He also can help us in SWAT. An exciting player, really neat personality. Excited to see what he can do. Also had a brother who played college football as well, so he already kind of knows what college football is going to be like. And came up on his visit last week and really shown out. I think we have a good chance to get a really quality player out of Quentin. I can't wait to see what he looks like in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. So that really concludes the bulk of the class. Again, we sent out 24 letters because we got 24 commitments, and we got 24 back. I would tell you that this class, you know, these things come up a lot. This is an intentional class. It was very specific. We had really specific targets. The first one was to get bigger on the offensive line. We felt that was an area where we needed to create some more size. So we signed 6'4", 290, 6'2", 275, 6', 280, 6'5", 300, 6'3", 265, and 6'5", 350. Those guys are bigger than a lot of the guys all those guys are bigger than several guys we played with a season ago. And so when you get that kind of size, it helps you. You can hold up better, especially as the season goes on, and you can still be big even when maybe the rest of the league starts to slow down a little bit. We needed help now at the defensive back position. We got that. Joseph Balbirr, Chandler Kaleo, Adrian Eastman, Kendall Johnson. Those are all young men who can come in and replace some missing pieces that we lost to graduation. That was important. And then we were really specific. We needed length at linebacker. We got Will Carroll at 6'1", Gavin Channing at 6'2", Cole Peterson at 6'2". So those were areas that we were really specific that we wanted to target, and we were able to do that in the process. We still have some work to do. That never really changes. You always have some work to do. But we do think it's a really strong foundation for what we're building going into the future, which is the 2018 schedule, which is it's a great schedule, I think, for us, because we start at Colorado Mesa, and if anything can get the attention of your football team in off-season conditioning, it's that you're playing the conference championship or champion on their field, a team that got after you very badly the year before. That certainly has our attention. We respect Colorado Mesa. Last time we went there, we played a very competitive game that went into the fourth quarter. We want to do that again on September 1st. We come back for two exciting home games against Western State and then M-Day versus Simon Fraser. You know, when we look at the home schedule, and I would go through it: Western State, Simon Fraser, Black Hills State game followed by the Adams State game, and then closing out with Chatham and Fort Lewis at home. That's 6 home games for our fans and 6 exciting opponents. And we really have targeted those games as critical games as we try to plan for our future. That the men we just brought in, the men we have here now, we do believe that those are games we need to go and be very, very competitive and win those games. It's important to us that way. Certainly we have 5 very challenging games on the road, which is great. But we really are excited about the fact that our fans will get to see a really exciting product here at Dunham Field at O'Hara Stadium when the 2018 season kicks off. So I don't think there would be, because I felt I was very thorough, but maybe Coach Larson or a couple other folks have some questions, and I'll take them at this time if you do. You're good?
Cut off guard.
Oh, good.
Someone go first, I'll take one.
We don't need questions we don't have. Okay.
Are you excited?
Oh, I'm juiced up. This is a good class. I mean, when you look at it, we really were really specific about what we were trying to do. I think we have a pretty good team, Taylor, so it's like, you know, we needed some specific things and we got them. And this is going to be an exciting team to watch next season. I really do believe that. And you know, the other thing I really like is we didn't have to ask, you know, all these young men got admitted into school on their own. They only got admitted before they came up on their visits. These guys were really sharp in terms of the work they were doing in the classroom. So I do know that we got the right people for the institution, and they're going to help our football program also. Yeah, Kevin.
Coach, how do you feel about getting some kids out of Texas?
Yeah, the question about getting guys out of Texas, you know, it's exciting for us. I think it's Coach Baptiste has great connections there. We're not done in Texas. We still have some work. In fact, we have some other things that are brewing right this very second in the great state of Texas. But we certainly think Hard Rocker football is alive and well in the great state of Texas, and it will continue to be. They obviously take football seriously in Texas, and you know that you know. It's not just Friday Night Lights. Certainly, we all love the TV show, and you know, there's some Tim Rigginses down there, and some guys who really, you know, bleed it, you know, and we found some of those guys and had a really good connection down there. And it's hard to get into Texas unless you're connected to Texas, and Coach Baptiste's connection is really strong, and I think we're going to continue to do big things there. I expect, well, a couple more before it's all said and done from there. Go to Babe's Chicken in Dallas if you ever. Carrollton, Texas, right? Yeah, Babe's Chicken, great spot. Good. We'll see you at 6 o'clock at Buffalo Wild Wings. I think it's a $5 cover charge. Is that what it is, Kevin?
Correct.
We'll have the signees up at that time. A little more, be a nice casual environment. So if you have some very specific questions, if you really want to ask Coach Breisman about something, you get right in his face and ask Coach Breisman about it at Buffalo Wild Wings at 6 o'clock. Okay? Rock on.